Good evening and welcome to another edition of Choose the Challenge. I am your host, LaWanna Bradford with the Bradford Group, as well as the Bradford Group Consulting. We are here with you on E360 TV, streaming live to Facebook, ROKU, Apple TV, and Samsung TV. And for those of you that may be joining us for the first time and you're wondering, what is Choose the Challenge? Choose the Challenge is a platform designed to help women expand to their brilliance by challenging the systems, the institutions, the mindsets that are trying to keep us in the box, because we know life is that much more delicious when we step outside of the box. And I'm so excited because today I have a very special guest who is going to be my co-host, none other than Dr. Teresa A. Smith, also known as Dr. Taz. And before I bring her on, I'll have her video introduce all of her amazing brilliance. Here we go.
Educate, encourage, empower, transform. As much as we wish for more of the same, we long for something different. Our journeys are comprised of small steps moving us from daydreams to reality. The measure of a person is to understand life lessons and use them to fuel their future. DQ Consulting, LLC specializes in fusing your ideas and life lessons to help you create your desired future if you don't quit. For consulting, coaching, and mentoring, visit AskDrTaz.com and contact author, talk show host, motivational speaker, coach, media personality, and home cook, Dr. Teresa A. Smith, better known as Dr. Taz, at drtastronger@gmail.com.
DQ Consulting.
DQ Consulting, LLC.
Hello. How's it going, Dr. Taz?
It is going just fabulous, LaWanna. I hope the day has been brilliant for you.
It has, and I'm so excited because today on Choose the Challenge, we're going to take this journey through wellness, right?
Yes.
And I know for you, wellness is real important, and often not only are you within communities throughout social media and outside of social media, but you're talking about what it means to have good health as far as what we eat, but also the mental health, right?
Absolutely. You know, there is a connection between our bodies and our minds. So therefore, inevitably, there's a connection between what we put in our body and our personality, our emotional health. And I think, you know, for women in particular, we really have to begin to understand that connection so that we don't, you know, sort of fall into a ditch sometime and trying to figure out what's wrong with me, because it really could be as simple as what we're putting in our body.
Exactly. And the one thing that I love about all of our guests, even though we're going to kind of pigeonhole them in a particular lane, we know that they all believe in holistic health.
Yes.
That it's mind, body, and spirit. When one is off kilter, it affects the whole being, right?
Oh, absolutely. And so I think that our audience is really going to be surprised when they hear how our guests kind of explain it, because we hear it all the time about that connection, but you know, you'll get it to a point and it will just actually click. So my hope is that as our guests come forward, our audience will really begin to see that connection of the three.
Yes. And today we're going to talk about sleep, nutrition, gut health, exercise, and supplements. And before we get into sleep, I want to give a special acknowledgement to our sponsor of our show tonight, which is Cuddle Me Love. And I'm excited because we actually have the innovator and founder of Cuddle Me Love, who will be talking to us about sleep. So the next voice and face that you will see will be none other than Lindy Eldridge.
Hi, I'm Ariana, and I want to talk to you today about why people all over America are talking about the Cuddle Me Love body pillow. This pillow is incredible. It's helping people with health issues, whether body aches, anxiety, stress. People are dealing with some serious issues, loneliness, depression, and this is the perfect gift. Get one for yourself today and get one for those you care about. The Cuddle Me Love Body Pillow. It's the best. I can't imagine sleeping without it. Get yours today.
Hello, Lindy, aka Whoopi.
Hello, LaWanna. Dr. Taz, how are you? So nice to see you, meet you for the first time.
I am great. It's so good to be with you. I'm just loving that commercial.
Well,
Love it.
Thank you so much. You know, LaWanna, she's been with me from the beginning. So,
yeah, I don't know how many pillows I've purchased.
Oh God, her whole family has pillows. She is my pillow. Good stuff. Thank you so much for having me on and introducing Cuddle Me Love. You ladies, you know, LaWanna, you never fall short of amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Lindy, for saying yes. And I just have to give this amazing woman some kudos because, you know, Dr. Taz, you never know who's watching you. And before Lindy and I met, I was watching her. I was studying her because she is a talk show host personality herself. And it was a lane I had never traveled in. And so I liked her energy. I liked her style. And she actually was my very first guest.
Oh,
yes.
You guys go way back.
Oh, we celebrate all the time.
Yes.
Huh.
Well, I do want to let the audience know this is for infotainment purposes only. We will be sharing lived experiences, tips, tools, solutions. It is not at all intended to be a substitute for medical advice or any diagnoses. So we just need to make that disclaimer here. And with that, Lindy, let's talk about why is sleep so important? And we know, especially women, you know, we got a lot of balls in the air. We're wearing a lot of hats. And those of us that are in the entrepreneurial space make excuses for why we're not getting enough sleep, right? It's like, I gotta keep grinding and grinding and grinding. So I want to just turn it over to you and really talk about sleep and its importance in our well-being.
Thank you so much. You know, I could appreciate exactly what you said because there was one point at my time that was me. I was that woman that ran crazy, right? And it was nonstop and I didn't know how to turn off. And the bottom line is that if you listen to all the studies that go on all over the world, not just here in the United States, sleep is extremely important for us. It replenishes our body. There's a reason that we sleep and we don't eat during that time, right? And we wake up and we have break fast, right? Mm-hmm. The reason for it is that if you don't allow your body to shut down and just to be able to be in a peaceful place, obviously, and I'm sure that many people experience it when they're not having that rest, they're waking up and they have anxiety and they have stress because they just don't understand how to turn it off. Once you learn how to turn off all of this noise that's in your head at night, you will be able to sleep in such a better form for you mentally, physically, and healthily, and you will experience exactly what that does for you immediately from the time you wake up. You will feel refreshed. So why do we need to sleep? Because the body needs to rest. We should never go into exhaustion. But a lot of us, and I was, you know, one of them, I didn't know how to turn off and I didn't know how to stop my own clock. until the breast cancer. And I don't want people to ever experience any kind of a health challenge because they realize that self-care, self-love is number one. And if you're not taking care of yourself, it's going to be very difficult for you to take care of others joyfully, happily, and being exclusive. But self-care is number one. And if we just take the pattern of the day, how busy we are throughout the day, and we don't allow ourselves to shut down and go into that peaceful place, then we're still running like crazy and we're causing ourselves to get sick. So health-wise, we need to sleep. And I finally figured it out, and I'm so grateful I did. There's only so much that you could do in a day. So I'm sure that we have others that are going to share that mindset of how to be appreciative of the things that we've accomplished instead of thinking about the things that we didn't accomplish, to be able to fall into a comfortable position and be able to go and mean it. Yeah.
Dr. Tass, what do you think about the importance of sleep?
I think it's so important. And what stuck out to me was stopping my own clock. You said you figured out how to stop your own clock. Now, Lindy, does that have to do with what you just said about reflecting on what you did accomplish for the day? Because you can't get it all done. And I don't know why we think we can, because I'm one of those people and I know better. But is that how you begin to stop your own clock? It's almost like you're for lack of a better word, you're celebrating what you did accomplish versus focusing on the stuff that you didn't get accomplished that's going to be waiting for you the next day.
100%. We have to celebrate ourselves for the things that we have accomplished. Our day could go crazy, as we all could experience, right? Our day could be interrupted. However, that's why it's so great to always have that priority list of things to do. And when you make your priority list, make sure you put the important things on top. And if your day gets crinkled, I like to say that, crinkled, because I like the word, but if it gets a little bit crinkled, at least you've accomplished the most important things. There's always the next day to accomplish. So when I go to bed at night, when my body starts getting very tired, how can I possibly be producing the best product for my clients, for my audience, if I did that in a sleep moment? Now, here's the deal, right? How much time do we want to waste that we think that we're being productive? So at night, we're exhausted, and here we are, we're doing what we're supposed to get ready for. And we wake up in the morning and we look at it, we're like, what does all of this mean? What did I do? So then you have to spend even more time correcting what you put down because you thought that you were being productive, where in fact you weren't being productive. You're paralyzing yourself. No more. When my body says, whoopee, I'm tired, I finish off with whatever it is that I am doing. If I can't complete it, I bookmark it and I get ready for bed. I wash my face and I start turning off the world and going into my self-care. And if we could learn how to do that, look, none of us are at the age now of who we are. So I'm 62. I'm going to be 62. I didn't get here overnight. So change isn't going to happen overnight. That slight edge philosophy, I know it works because I had to do it for me. So we get to turn that clock off.
I love what you're saying, Lindy, and it takes us back to that accountability and responsibility for ourselves and that self-love and prioritizing you, because we can't pour from an empty cup, and we can have excuse after excuse as to why we're burning the candle at both ends. But at the end of the day, it has crippling effects. If we keep running that pace, it does have crippling effects. And I know I look at, my dad, he just celebrated 92, and he's still healthy, and he used to be a marathon runner and all of this great things. Well, one thing I could say about him, what he ate, staying fit, if he really believes in naps.
I love naps.
It's power naps, right?
Yeah, I think we all got kind of addicted to naps during COVID, didn't we? I think everybody, I don't care how old you were, decided at 3:00 it's time for a little siesta. And how did it make you feel? Huh. It gave you that refresh.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So naps are not just for babies. Right?
Before we go to our next guest, I know you got the Cuddle Me Love behind you, don't you?
I always have the cuddle behind me.
Can you tell us just briefly what makes this body pillow so different? I know I have my own personal experience, but it's one of those, and I tell people you really have to experience it, right, Lindy? I mean, and I've never been one to be a body pillow sort of a thing, and Lindy's like, just try it, and no migraines. I don't wake up with sinus issues anymore.
It's crazy. So very, very quickly, I don't know how much time I have left, but very, very quickly, let me just share with everybody. I had the breast cancer almost 5 years ago, and I got divorced 3 weeks into radiation. And all I wanted to do is to be held. So I created this pillow. Now I'm on stage and I'm writing about it in my book, Self-Care. Rest, figure out a way how to feel that security. And everybody wanted the pillow. So all the testimonials that have come in since the production of Cuddle Me Love have been unbelievable. And these are in other people's words. It supports you. It contours your body. It helps you sleep emotionally and physically. And I have heart patients, cancer patients. I'm now working here in South Carolina with the Myers Center for Special Needs Children. And we have now donors and sponsors that are sponsoring pillows so every child gets one. Now, if we don't, if you could understand what a special needs child needs, they need a body pillow that's going to contour them, to be able to lift them up for the bed sores, right? To help them heal. And at the same time, they just want to be snuggled. So somehow or another, God created this pillow with me. It wasn't me alone. Honest to God, it wasn't. Right, God? That's right. It was him. It was him telling me, this is how you're going to replace the thing that is missing. Because everything in our life can be substituted and replaced. I had to learn that as well. And now almost thousands of people around the world are comforted for all different reasons. The testimonials are on cuddlemelove.com. So I'm just blessed to be able to heal people in other ways in regards to what I already do. It's a blessing. LaWanna, your whole family has these pillows, for goodness sake.
They do. They literally do. From age 16 to 92.
92.
We are Cuddle Me Love advocates.
They really are. Boy, I'll tell you, I'm hugging everybody. The last one that I got, I was doing a vending event this weekend, and a girl comes over. It's around 3:00. The event stops at 4:00, and I turn around, and she's literally selling the pillow. She's looking at her mother, and she's going, da, 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 da. Her mother buys one. The testimonial that she sent me this morning is from her father, and her father said, I have no idea why we just spent so much money on an orthopedic bed. Your mother is obsessed and loves this pillow.
Wow.
Now, I'm not saying anything about orthopedic beds, or that's just the testimonial that came in. So your rest is very, very important. We need to learn how to shut off the clock, and more importantly, to keep our bodies aligned and balanced while we're sleeping. That's why LaWanna doesn't have any more headaches. That's why her neck doesn't hurt, because for the doctors, the healing centers, the physical therapists, and the customers, that's the endorsement. It helps keep the body aligned and balanced. During the night, we have to keep healing processes going. So we wake up refreshed, rejuvenated.
Well, Lindy, thank you so much for joining us. Please reach out to Lindy. You can reach her on all things social media, but visit Cuddle Me Love at cuddlemelove.com. Look at the testimonials. As I said, I am a Cuddle Me Love ambassador. It's amazing. I think there's pixie dust sprinkled on it. I don't know what it is, but it works.
Thank you. I love you girls so much, and thank you so much. What a blessing you all are to the world.
Thank you, Lindy. Bye-bye. Got to get your cuddle me love, Dr. Taz.
I will be getting one. I will. Absolutely.
Well, I'm excited because we have our next guest. We're going to be talking about gut health, things that we tend to not really talk a lot about. And we have Kelly Haw, who is going to be joining us. And she is a certified holistic health and wellness coach. She has such a long, extensive bio, but she is a stress resilience and mental wellness trainer, a nutritional psychology practitioner, and a mental health advocate. She is also an author, a speaker, a teacher on what it means for us to understand the gut, knowing that it's a second brain, how there's the gut-brain connection, and what we can do to live our best and healthiest lives. And before I bring her on, I want to bring on her commercial. Hello, Kelly. Can you hear us? Kelly, you're on mute.
She's working on it.
She's working on it. I can't hear you.
I love it that she had to move the glasses.
Okay.
I understand that.
We'll take you down and just talk for a few minutes and just let us know when you're ready. Oh, I think she's saying she's ready now. Okay. You want to test? Can't hear you. Kelly, what I want you to do, can't hear you at all. Log off. If you can hear me, log off and come back in, and we're going to go to our next speaker and bring you up. No worries. All right. Don't you love live TV?
Absolutely. Just roll with it.
Well, we have Jacqueline Young Landy who's going to be joining us. I believe Jacqueline's backstage. I hope she is. Jacqueline Landy is the founder of JYL Image and Lifestyle. She is a wellness fitness coach. She is also a fashion designer. That's actually how she got her start, and has a passion and fuel to help individuals live their best life. She's an author of the book, It Is Not a Practice Life. And she is truly a woman who lives everything that she says. I'm proud to call her friend, and I'm excited that she's joining us right now. And before I bring her on stage, I want to move this banner so you can see her video.
You go to the gym and you work out and you come back and you look in the mirror, you will see nothing. And if you go to the gym the next day and you come back and you look in the mirror, you will see nothing. So clearly there's no results, can't be measured, it must not be effective. So we quit. Or if you fundamentally believe that this is the right course of action and you stick with it, you commit yourself to an act of service. You commit yourself to the regime, the exercise. You can screw it up. You can eat chocolate cake one day, you can skip a day or two, but if you stick with it consistently, I'm not exactly sure what day, but I know you'll start getting into shape. Going to the gym for 9 hours does not get you into shape. Working out every day for 20 minutes gets you into shape. It's not about the events. It's not about intensity. It's about consistency.
Hello.
Hey, Jackie.
How are you? How are you?
Good. Welcome, welcome. I love the video, and that is so true. Sometimes we get so focused on, I got to get fit, right? Even though our life for years and years and years got us to this point, but we want to get fit overnight, right? We want to get ready for that wedding, for that family reunion, for that school reunion. And you talk about living our best lives every single day, commitment to ourselves. Can you talk to us a little bit about that? And it was so important that this message was so important to you, Jackie, that you wrote a book. This is not a practice life.
Practice life. Yes. Yes, I do believe you can create your heart desires in anything, in your wellness, in your finances, and in your image, in anything. But it takes the mindset. And if the mindset is stuck, we have to rewrite that script. And it takes consistency, meaning you don't want to do something that is really hard, because if you do something that's really hard, you're not going to do it. You want to find something that is you're having fun while you're doing it and is beneficial to you in your health. And that's what I do.
You know, the one thing that I love about you, Jackie, is, I mean, you're gorgeous inside and out, but unlike you are so confident in who you are. I love when you come on with no makeup, or you'll show your before and after photos, because it's all about loving who you are, right? At any stage in life.
Yes, yes. We create inside. And if we talk negative things about ourselves, that's what's going to portray out. So we need to put positive things in our mind constantly, and not just feeding your mind with thoughts, but feeling it. And when you feel it, it manifests throughout your whole being.
Yeah, I want to turn it over to you, Dr. Taz, before I ask my next question.
Okay. You know, Jackie, I was watching the video, and I see you still talking about the consistency, but you made a statement. You don't want to, when you get started, you don't want it to be really hard, because I'm understanding the message. I have to change my script. I got to be consistent. So I can't start where Jackie's at. Now, my goal may be to get to where you are, but I have to start at in incremental steps. So when you're working with folks who want to have, the day is the Monday, who want this great body a month from now, and how do you help them to understand that it doesn't happen overnight?
It doesn't happen overnight, but first you need to write it down. How you desire to feel in your wellness, how you desire to look in your wellness, and reread that script in your mind, not what you're actually seeing now. Because what you're actually seeing now is of your thoughts from the past. People can create illness on themselves by stressing themselves out because they're thinking of negative stuff. Shed those stuff and start creating what you desire in your mind, on paper, and feel into it.
And you know, and I'm gonna turn it back over to you, LaWanna. That sounds so easy, Jackie, because we do it all the time. But sometimes we don't do it from a positive stance. We're doing it from a negative stance. If we could just
creating more of that.
Absolutely.
Yep. So we have to be very aware of our thoughts. Very aware. And when you get into that thought, you're going to go through the emotions, but do not dwell on it. Change it. Yep.
I love what you said. And one of the things that Jackie and I've talked a lot about is I was an athlete my whole life. So being physically fit it wasn't like it was an option. It's just that's how you do. That's how you maintain this amazing machine called our body. And doing all the right things. I dotted all the right I's, all the T's. I mean, everything from being from vegetarian to vegan. I mean, I did it all. I know the body and how the body operates probably better than the average person. But then I got a knock on the door, and that was a cancer diagnosis. And Jackie and I talked about it, that sometimes life happens, but I love what you said, Jackie. Sometimes buried deep are those thoughts. It could even be, some people don't want to believe in this, but there could be some things generationally that have carried through the bloodline that knock on our door and show up in the form of illness, right?
Yep.
But most people look at me and they have no idea I'm still going through that battle. But even though my body is, because of the other stuff that it's having to do, doesn't quote unquote look the way LaWanna wants it to look, I'm here. I have energy. I sleep well. I eat well. And, having a friend like Jackie and watching her keeps me encouraged that LaWanna, you'll get back there, but the body it's trying to heal first.
Mm-hmm.
It will heal, and then the ripped body will come back. But right now, it's just trying to heal itself.
Take time.
Yeah,
it takes time, but push forward. Don't step back. Push forward. Sometimes you don't feel like it, but just push forward and get it done. And you will notice, because you're pulling forward, you're developing momentum for a healthier you.
Yes.
Yep.
You mentioned before we started, you said it only takes 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And so many people are conditioned, and I know it's the whole fitness industry, right? And I personally get sick and tired of hearing, eat less, exercise more. And so you see these women starving themselves to the point of having eating disorders, and out there in the gym, an hour and a half, just killing their bodies, and wondering, why don't I have the results that I want?
As Doctor said earlier, you're putting too much energy on things that doesn't really serve you. You have to find out what really, really serve you and focus more on that. I don't believe in working out at the gym for 1 hour, 2 hours, but it's too hard on your muscles, it's too hard on your joints, it's too hard on your bones, especially women over 55. It's too hard. So a little at a time, building that little baby muscles, so stronger bones, muscles to support your bones, I think is better than killing yourself at the gym.
Yes, Dr. Tess.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was thinking, I had an injury in May. And as a result, Jackie, I haven't walked this summer, because the time that I was going to start walking, then I had an injury. And the doctor told me to rest, ice, compress, and elevate. And I haven't really done that. So I still have 2 places on my leg that are swollen, and they still bruised. The bruises are still there. But I was thinking about what you just said, 20 minutes. So when I am able to start back, instead of that mindset, I got to walk as long as I would have normally have been walked, which would have been an
Let's
hour.
start 10 minutes on the block.
10 minutes. And if I can do 10
and then build on
consistently, and then, like you said, then build on, it will be as if my body will start responding because it's used to it, but I haven't lost anything. But that's a reprogramming, because
we're writing that script.
That's it. I've got to write it down, because I'm still thinking you got to go out there at least do 30 minutes, which makes no sense whatsoever, knowing that I'm still, nursing an injury. 10 minutes, then slowly build up. But like you said, I got to write it down and read it.
Step at a time.
Yeah.
And make it embed into your mind, because you're thinking, I have to do 30, so you don't do it.
You're right. Then I won't do anything, because I know I can't do 30. I know my body's not ready for 30. So it's almost like my mind psychs me out, and then I do nothing.
Mine is very powerful.
Yeah, it is.
I'm going to date myself, but there was, he was a gorgeous fitness trainer. His name was Gilead. And he typically would come out of Hawaii. So he's on the beach with, 2 or 3 other women, but it was called a 10-minute workout. And it's kind of equivalent to our HIIT trainings today. But in that 10 minutes, it was so focused and so intense. And you would think nothing's going to happen in 10 minutes, but it was the daily, every day.
Consistently,
and then focusing on those particular body parts, right? Right, Jackie?
Yep. Get results every day. And it then becomes a lifestyle. It doesn't become a struggle. It's like you don't even decide or even want or care to do it. If you do bite size, then it becomes it's like a daily thing every day.
Yes. I'm going to ask you one more question before we have to move on to our next guest. Yeah. You believe in supplements, and I know there's different schools of thought. Some people feel that we don't need supplements. We can get everything from the earth, but we also know that our food sources sometimes aren't the healthiest. But you're an advocate of having both good eating, but you also supplement. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I do supplement. Because, as you know, everything is reaped too early. Reaped too early to be processed, to go to the truck, then go to the supermarket, then go on the shelf. By the time we get it, no nutrients are in there. We're just eating and it's not given the nutrients that our body really needs. So that's why I go to supplements. I've tried several supplements and I found one that really works for me and work for others too. So I do believe 80% of nutrition and 20% of movement, that's all you need. That's all you need. And put yourself first on that list. First on that list. Pour into you first. And once you pour into you first, you can, and you're overflowing, then you can start pouring to others. You cannot pour from a half cup or an empty cup. You cannot.
I love it. Well, Jackie, we're definitely going to have you come back. Thank you so much for sharing with us. You can reach Jacqueline Young Landy on all things social media. She is very easy to find, and she's got numerous challenges going on. So if you have any questions about what you can do to be your best self, not just mentally, but physically, emotionally, reach out to her and go get her book. It's Not a Practice Life. You'd be amazed at her story. She comes from such a place of transparency, openness, and love. And the book is a book of hope and inspiration. So thank you so much, Jackie, for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, the show is going so fast. Let's see if we can bring Kelly back on.
Okay.
There we go. Kelly, can you hear us? You can't hear us? Let me go to your other. I see you on in another place. Let me move this way. Gonna try one more time. Okay, can you hear us? Whoops. Okay. We're gonna keep it rolling. And we have a video. Hopefully we can bring Kelly back on. I'm excited because we have Marva Riley in the house, who is a registered nurse, a holistic practitioner, wellness advocate, and she is a teacher. She is an author of 2 books and really is working to help individuals know that you can be your own physician. You can heal yourself. The body is designed to do just that, but it takes key steps. And one of the things that we find ourselves challenged with, Dr. Taz, is, oh my gosh, how am I supposed to eat healthy, right?
Yeah.
Or we think it's too complicated.
Yes.
So I have this video where she's going to give us a little cooking demonstration. How fun is that?
Okay, this is going to be great.
Okay, let me move this so I can get all this out of the way. And here we go.
Hi there, this is Marva Riley. Welcome to my kitchen. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to cook healthy foods. I do this every day, not necessarily because I enjoy cooking, but I do it because I want to feed my family healthy foods every day. I don't buy processed food. I cook my food from scratch. For example, this is collard greens that I'm going to cook from scratch. Tomato, onion, garlic. Every day I cook with these basic ingredients. So what I'm going to demonstrate to you first is some sauteed collard greens. Okay, so I wash the collard greens, the fresh collard greens. I never buy my vegetables pre-cooked because they lose a lot of the nutrients. So I wash the collard greens and I cut it up. Okay, so this collard greens is already cut up. I'm gonna set it aside. Then I always cook with fresh onion, fresh tomato, and fresh garlic. And I've cut it up. fresh garlic and onion that I've chopped up, and tomato, and also green sweet pepper from my garden that I've cut up. So I'm going to saute this stuff. I use olive oil and sometimes I use coconut oil. I'm going to turn the stove on. Put a little bit of olive oil, probably 2 tablespoons or so. And just kind of twirl it around and let it heat. Now, it's very important to eat healthily. I'm a plant-based eater, and I eat greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, legumes, berries, seeds daily. For the most part, beans and peas are my meat replacement, and today I'm going to show you how I saute the lentil beans. So right now I'm waiting until my olive oil is nice and hot. Once it's hot, I'm going to add my onion and garlic and tomato that I already chopped up. If weight loss is one of your goals, and it's a goal for many people, because there is actually an ideal weight that we should weigh. If you go online, you can Google a chart and it'll show you based on your height and your frame, whether you're small frame, medium frame, or large frame, what your ideal weight should be. And that's what we should be working towards. If you want to lose that weight, attain your ideal weight, and maintain your ideal weight, a good way to do that is to eat more greens, more vegetables, more low starch vegetables, like what I'm going to be preparing. Right now, the oil is nice and hot. I can feel it. So I'm going to add my garlic, onion, tomato, and the pepper. I'm going to stir it. All right. Now, I love to cook with allspice. So I'll sprinkle a little bit of allspice on that. A little bit of salt, a pinch of salt to taste, not too much now. I'm going to turn the heat down to medium. And I love to cook with fennel seeds. It gives the food a delightful flavor, and it helps with digestion. The Indians cook with it all the time. A little bit of fennel seeds, black pepper, all right, and I stir it up. Smells so good. Oh, if you were in my kitchen right now, you would be salivating. All right. Now, I have mushrooms here. Oh, I didn't tell you about the mushroom. These are shiitake mushrooms. Mushrooms are very nutritious, and they are said to be potent anti-cancer food. So I cook with mushrooms almost every day. It has a really delicious meat flavor. If you cook your vegetables with mushroom, you'll never miss meat. It tastes so good, smells so good, and it tastes better than meat. So I'm going to add the mushroom, which I washed and cut into quarters. Stir it up. All right, and then I'm going to add my cut up collard greens. Now, most people overcook their collard greens. I need a little water, I forgot. Most people overcook their collard greens. Collard greens don't take hours to cook like some people do. Okay, I stir it in. a little bit of water, maybe about 4 tablespoons of water. Stir it in. It smells so good. And it's always delicious, believe me. Every day, my husband tells me that every day that I cook, my food tastes different. It tastes so good. This is what it looks like. I wish I had a better way of showing it to you. Okay, that's it. Cover it and let it steam for about 5 to 10 minutes. Don't ever want to overcook your vegetables. So in 5 to 10 minutes, it'll be ready to eat. And it's always, always very delicious. Now, this was a simple, healthy, easy, and inexpensive recipe. I hope you try it. Take care now.
Good.
Now, doesn't that look delicious?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes, it does.
And we have the chef in the house. Oh, Barbara, that looked amazing. And I know you have a recipe book that tells us that we can eat healthy simply and affordably, right?
Yes, ma'am. Well, yes, we can. Yes, we can. Actually, I am a registered nurse, but I haven't practiced nursing in 5 years. So my income is not where it was when I was a practicing nurse. And my husband is retired. So we do have what they call a fixed income. We don't make a lot of money, but we eat healthily every day. So doesn't have to break the bank.
And I know you and I spoke before, and you said that even being in the medical profession, a trained medical professional, and then you became a student of holistic healing as well as nutrition, that you realized that with all your knowledge that you weren't eating healthy, even though you thought you were.
Well, I didn't know how. I thought I knew how to eat healthy, but I didn't. And I would dare say that about many doctors, many nurses, respiratory therapists, radiologists, whatever your healthcare profession is. I would go out on a limb and say most of us have no clue. Even dietitians, by the way, and nutritionists do not know how to eat healthily.
Yeah. Dr. Taz, do you have the healthy eating down to a science? Are you golden?
Never golden, because as soon as you say that, you're going to slip up. But I do strive every day to eat healthy. And when you were talking, Marva, I was reminded of something a friend of mine said. She'd gone to see her doctor. It was a female. And she indicated that the doctor, was telling her she needed to lose weight. Well, her doctor needed to lose weight.
Yes.
And she said that when she was a tall lady, but she was a fairly big lady too. And she said that when she went back to see her 6 months later, my friend had lost some pounds, but she said that the doctor had really lost some pounds. And she said that she'd gotten a trainer, she was trying to eat healthier. And so that was resonating with me, that even our health professionals and even the nutritionists, even though they're telling us what to do, don't always practice it, because it is challenging to always eat healthy. And so my question to you is, because you did mention the fact that you're on a quote unquote fixed budget, how do you manage to eat healthy? Because what you have is basically organic, because you're pulling things out of your garden. How do you manage to eat healthy, but on a budget?
Okay, well, a lot of what I eat, I do not grow in my garden, because I live in Georgia, for example. And if I lived in Jamaica, where I'm from, perhaps I could. But a lot of things here are seasonal. So I grow some things, And in all honesty, I do not eat a lot of organic foods. Either that it's not available or I can't afford it. So my collard greens are not organic. My cabbage are not organic. I try to eat some things organic, like if I'm going to eat an apple or pear that I'm going to eat the skin, then I'll try to eat that organic. But by and large, I don't eat organic foods. I wash my vegetables with water and a little bit of raw apple cider vinegar with the mother to get rid of whatever is on it. But even the organic name, I don't trust. Because I think a lot of, well, organic doesn't mean it doesn't have any pesticides, by the way, or it doesn't have any chemical. They claim that it means that it has less. But even that, I don't really trust. So I eat regular food. I can't afford to eat organic. I don't know if that answers your question. But another way in which I save money is I shop for sale. For example, my husband loves cauliflower. I like it if it's cooked up with some curry or some jerk or nice stuff like that. But you can just steam it or give it to him raw, and he loves it. But it's expensive.
Yes.
At my local supermarket, when the cauliflower is like 1% not so good and nobody else wants it, they'll mark it down by 75%. And I'll get a cauliflower head that was $6 for $1.99. So when cauliflower is on sale, I'll buy it. I'm not promoting Walmart, but when I go to Walmart, which I try to go to Walmart to do my grocery shopping because the local store is a lot more expensive, I get things a lot cheaper. For example, I cook chickpeas and lentils all the time. The beans are my go-to for meat. And a 16-ounce pack of black beans will cost $2.80 at my local supermarket. If I go to Walmart, I get it for $1.24.
It's a difference.
So I'll go there and I'll stock up on beans, and then I'll buy my fresh vegetables locally when I run out. So that's one way in which I'm able to eat healthy.
And I love that example because I always use the phrase, any excuse will do. If you want to live a healthy life, I mean, and I'm saying where you're able to control certain things and that's your choices. You can. As Jackie said, if it's the exercise, then you take little baby steps. Maybe you can't walk 5 miles, but you can walk down the block, or you can walk to your mailbox instead of driving to it once you come out of your garage. You know, I see my neighbors do that, right? They don't walk. I'm serious. They don't walk from their door to their mailbox. They'll get in their car, leave the garage, stop their car, reach in. They don't even get out.
Better not be listening to you.
I hope they're not.
I know. Oh well. But it is those little things, and I love the example that you gave. That it may not be organic.
That's right.
But if it's plant based, if you don't, let me rewind it. If you're not eating healthy, if you're not making the best choices, then the question to those that are listening: what is the cost of ill health? ILL, ill health. What is that cost? And sometimes you don't have a do-over. You can't roll back the hands of time. Right. When you are suffering from that heart attack.
That's right.
Or some other ill. It's like, so it's sometimes we have to invest in ourselves up front so that it can take care of us as we journey through life, right? And can you share about your parents, because your parents are meat eaters still, but they're living healthy lives.
Yeah. So I choose to be what I call 99% plant-based, because once in a while I like sardine, and sardines have good omega-3 and B12 and that. So I'll have a can of sardines. Sometimes I'll have some wild salmon once in a while, not large amounts. And if we go out on a date and I feel like having a couple of chicken wings, I'll eat it. So I'm not 100% plant-based, but I like to say I'm 99%. Because the science, I mean, there's so much evidence to say the more plants that we include in our diet, the healthier we will be. I mean, nobody is refuting that. But my mom will be 86 and my dad's 90. They live in Jamaica and they do eat meat, but it's the portion that they eat. Nobody is saying necessarily that you can't have donut. How much donut are you gonna have? Are you gonna buy a dozen donut, stick it in your refrigerator, and it's done in a day?
Yeah.
How much? I mean, if you go out once in a while and you have French fries, that's really, I don't think it's gonna kill you. But if you're eating French fries every day, so my parents, they eat healthy and they don't even know that they're eating healthy because they're from the islands and they eat the yam and the potato and the malanga and they don't know that they're eating healthy and they eat the spinach and the cabbage and those things, but that's the norm for them. And then they'll have a little piece of chicken or a little piece of pork. My dad loves pork, or a little piece of whatever meat it is. Small portion, probably because they grew up not being able to afford meat because meat is expensive. So it's not the norm for them. But you don't have to be, it doesn't have to, I don't think it's necessarily that you have to be all or nothing. It's the amount of poison that we take that's important.
Yes. I love that. And we are almost out of time. And I just want to do a recap because this has been an amazing, I've loved this entire episode. And it's moderation. It's not the excess. Like you said, if you want a donut, okay, have one donut. Don't go to Krispy Kreme and buy a dozen. Just because you're drawn in by that aroma, right?
I'm not supposed to. This is what I've learned real quick. Whatever I don't want to eat, do not bring it in the house.
That's true.
I love ice cream. If the ice cream is in the freezer, I'm going to eat it. Yeah. Okay, and I love Oreo cookies. If it's there, I'm going to eat. So I don't buy it. If I feel like having Oreo cookies, I'll go buy a small pack and just finish it. It's done.
Yeah, I like that. And it's, again, this whole show and in conversation, it's about the choices that we make, everything from how we sleep, making sure that we take care of that we allow our bodies to receive the restoration that it needs for the next day, to heal, to cleanse itself. That helps with our brain health, our physical health. It's about our nutrition, our exercise. It's about the gut health. It's about having the right supplements because we may not be getting everything in our food. And I hope to have you all back again so we can dig a little bit deeper and give our community and our audience a little bit more to walk away with. And I'm going to just quickly bring on, I don't know if Whoopi, if you're here, I'm going to bring you on. I just want to say thank you to Marva Riley, Jacqueline Young, Lindy Eldridge, aka Whoopi, and my co-host, the amazing Dr. Teresa A. Smith, aka Dr. Jazz. Thank you all so much for joining me on this very special wellness discussion. To our listening audience, we hope this has meant something to you. Reach out to these individuals. You can find them easily on social media, on their websites. And remember that you can choose to challenge your current life situation. You can choose to rise up, be better, do better, make the best choices so that you can live the best life possible. As Jacqueline Young Landy reminds us, this isn't a practice life. We're not going to get a do-over. So do you and do the best you possible. Until next week, be blessed, everyone. Bye-bye.